Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, everybody, to Around the Boxes, episode number 25. This is, of course, my live stream series where I show you guys new additions to my collection, both comic books and comic book adjacent. We are back. It's been a couple weeks. I had to wait a couple weeks for this episode because there wasn't enough comic books coming out. When I picked up books last week, it was like 2 books, so I waited until I had enough comic books to actually properly talk about in this video. But we are here. We are back. We are live. We are chilling. Last episode, I told you guys that Webheads Comic Club was going to be coming back soon. I can officially announce that it will be coming out this week, within the next couple of days. So look forward to that. But I kind of just hit start streaming, and now I'm kind of rambling because I'm realizing I don't really know exactly what to say. So I'm kind of just flailing here a little bit. But how's everyone doing? My hair looks terrible right now. I'm growing it out, and I'm kind of in that awkward in-between phase. So just, ignore that. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Wonderful, beautiful Wednesday today. Excited. I love comic book Wednesdays. I've really fully gotten back into the rhythm of going to the comic store every Wednesday, because for a while it was like I would forget, and then I would have to remind myself, or I would just fall off and not go at all. But like ever since I've gotten back into picking up comics, like I've really gotten into the habit of just like Wednesdays I go to the store and pick them up. So it's a good time. But let's go ahead and dive into my pickups this week. We have a good number of comic books. We got about this many. But also something else very special, which you could probably guess from the title and thumbnail. If you follow me on TikTok, you would have seen this already. In fact, let me actually go over to my TikTok and show you. Here we go. I previewed this on my TikTok, showing my Infinity Saga tribute over on the wall over there, where I've got my Infinity War poster and the Endgame poster, and then of course in the middle I got my first Hot Toys figure, which I'm gonna show you guys here. So I picked up the Sideshow Collectibles Hot Toys. Oh, I left the TikTok playing. I was like, why am I still hearing music? I picked up the Hot Toys Thanos. This is a 1/6 scale Thanos figure. It's very, very cool. I'm going to try and kind of display it here. Has a bunch of different hands. It does have a different face, one that's like more angry, but I kept it on this kind of straight face because I just want him to stand and be imposing. I'm realizing he's kind of leaning back. Why don't you lean forward a bit, buddy? There you go. That's more imposing. But it has the Infinity Gauntlet, which does glow, actually. I'm going to take him off. It comes with this nice stand. It's got the Avengers Endgame logo. It says Thanos on it, so I leave him displayed on that because I think it's really cool. But let me just show you here. If I can get this off. There we go. I think the batteries might be close to dying, but the Infinity Stones actually glow. So that's super cool. Love that. And I need to get new batteries for that because I kind of let it die. But yeah, 1/6 scale, and let me tell you, the detail on this thing is incredible. I ended up going with the Endgame armored one because honestly I just like it better than the Infinity War Thanos. Infinity War Thanos was obviously awesome, but his outfit in that was kind of weird. But this one is sick. The helmet comes off, and let me tell you, the detail on this head sculpt is incredible. I don't know how well the camera picks it up, but this thing is very lifelike. It's actually frightening. It's so good looking, realistic wise. But I liked this one because I really like the armored outfit a little bit better. I also like that it came with his sword weapon and the Infinity Gauntlet. Obviously I needed the Infinity Gauntlet in there. But basically, yeah, I've always really liked Hot Toys, but it's not really something I can collect because they are so expensive and so big. If you collect them, I would just have to have them everywhere, and that's not really my vibe. So I figured I would really only get Hot Toys on the rare occasion, and Thanos seemed like one that was worth it because I thought it would fit really well in the display with my Infinity War and Endgame posters, and it does. So this is probably the only Hot Toy I'm going to have for a while. I would probably get the Kang Hot Toy when that is a thing, because part of me likes the idea of kind of solidifying and signifying each saga in the MCU with a hot toy and the posters. So I have the Infinity War poster and the Endgame poster with my movie tickets from that, with the Thanos hot toy in the middle. I think it'd be really cool to have Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars with my tickets and with the Kang hot toy in the middle, because I assume Kang's going to be the main villain of Secret Wars. But so that would be really cool. Definitely an awesome addition to my collection. This is definitely an area of collecting that I've always been fascinated with but never really dived into. I know JP Creations, co-host of Webheads Comic Club, he loves hot toys. I know he's ordered at least a few. I don't think he has any of them yet, but he's ordered a few of the SpiderMan ones, which will be really cool when those arrive. But yeah, that's my 1/6 scale Thanos. This thing is absolutely massive. For scale, here's it next to me. I knew it was going to be big, but somehow I just couldn't visualize how big it was going to be until it arrived. Like, when I took it out of the box and looked at it, I was like, this is somehow bigger than I thought it would be. And I don't know how that's possible, because I fully anticipated it to be huge. But, yeah, it's awesome. They really do an incredible job. They have all of the joints, like, underneath skin. So there's no visible joints, except for maybe at the shoulder here, but you're not really looking in there. The shoulder pads are magnetic. They come off like that. So if I wanted them without the shoulder pads, I could do it without the shoulder pads. If I wanted to take any of these bits off, they can slide right off like clothing would. The only thing you can't change is his actual outfit. You can't change that. But that is okay, because I really like the armored look. I think it's a really, really cool look. I love how he has the sword. He has the gauntlet, the helmet. Super cool. Super happy. I'm probably going to change up his poses from time to time. Like right now, I've just got him kind of posed like this. With the Infinity Gauntlet kind of forward a bit, and the sword. In time, maybe I'll get him with the rage face and kind of get him in an action pose. Helmet on, helmet off. You know, I'm going to mix it up from time to time, but for right now, I've just been enjoying having him like this. And yeah, so his permanent living place is over there next to the posters. For now, I'm probably just going to put him back here somewhere. Or... yeah, I'll put him back over here. We'll keep him secure. But yeah, awesome addition to the collection. Very happy to have that. That is just a super cool piece to have. So, super exciting. Anyway, moving on from that, we can dive into the comic books that I picked up the last couple of weeks. Some good books here, and we're just going to dive into them one by one and kind of talk about them a little bit. So, first book I picked up, I wasn't planning on picking up, but I saw it at the store and I figured I probably should. It is Edge of Spider-Verse #1. I didn't really care about Edge of Spider-Verse. From what I've seen of it, from what they've previewed of it, it didn't really seem that important. It really just seemed like they were just making a bunch of different Spider-Man just to, whatever. But I decided to get it, and I don't think I'll be getting the second one. Like, reading this, it was just kind of Wasn't anything special. The first story was about kind of like a Revolutionary era Spider-Man called Spider-Laird. Or not even Revolutionary era. I think it's like Scotland, 1740. So before America, but that was whatever. And then there was a story of 616, Spider-Girl, Spider-Woman. I forget her name, but it was just a bunch of small stories. None of them were really that crazy. The main reason I picked it up was because I wanted to see Spider-Rex, the T-Rex Spider-Man, which, admittedly, this story was funny. It's just like a weird parody of Spider-Man in a dinosaur world. So that was cool. And then there was a story with Spider-Man Noir in it, which is also pretty cool. Enjoyable. So I don't regret getting it, but I don't know if I'll get the next issue. It's not really a series that I particularly care about. So yeah, if you missed out on this book, I wouldn't say you really missed out on anything. Not a huge loss there, but I'm gonna toss that over here. Next book came out today. This is Venom Lethal Protector #5, the last issue in this little mini-series. And I would say it ended about as well as it began, which is, it was okay. It was fun. It was novel. Obviously, a Venom book written by David Michelini, like that's super cool. But it didn't really do anything too crazy. It didn't do anything too special. I do love the cover arts for all of these issues. I think that's really, really cool. I wish the main Venom series would have covers this good. But yeah, I'm happy I picked up the whole 5-issue run. It'll be a fun little mini series to have in my boxes. But definitely nothing too crazy. It wasn't mind-blowingly good. I mean, David Michelini writes comics in a very outdated way, there's nothing wrong with that. He wrote comics back in the day, but I feel like comic books today have a little bit more depth than he writes with, which is, again, not a criticism. It's more just a observation. It's just a simpler storytelling method, I guess would be the way of putting it. So yeah, it was fun, but definitely if you missed out on the Lethal Protector series, you didn't miss out on much. You know, it was good, but it wasn't like a must-read. So hopefully now with this ending, they can really, really prioritize making the main Venom series better, because that series has not been hitting. But we'll talk about that when the next issue comes out. Next book, we have Captain America, Sentinel of Liberty number 3. Fear the Redacted. I have been loving the Captain America series, both the Sam Wilson cap and the Steve Rogers cap. And this was no exception. I think it's really well written. I love the art style. Carmen Carnero is doing the art. I love the art style. It's realistic, but comic booky. You know, like it's not photorealistic. It's obviously comic book art, but it's not abstract. It's made to be kind of one-to-one. What you see is what you get, and I like that in a comic book, especially a Captain America comic book, one that has to be kind of grounded in reality. I think they do a really good job. One thing I will say, though, something that a lot of comic books have been doing lately, specifically this one and another one in this episode, is having text where you have to, like, rotate the book to read it. And I can't decide whether I like that or hate that, because obviously this page art is really cool, but it's really gimmicky to have to, like, rotate the comic book to read the text that they're writing. That just seems kind of weird, but I can't criticize that too much, because as we talked about in Webheads Comic Club, back in Amazing Spider-Man issue number 24... Stan Lee did that, where Spider-Man entered an upside-down room while he was fighting Mysterio, and the text was upside down. So, I guess it's kind of not a new thing, but it's just a really gimmicky thing. I just don't see why they do it. It's just kind of weird, but all in all, the story of this is really good. It kind of feels like they're going for what Winter Soldier did with the MCU, but in the comics. Obviously, after Winter Soldier happened and S.H.I.E.L.D. stopped being a thing in the movies, they kind of disbanded S.H.I.E.L.D. in the comics because they wanted it to be, you know, comparable. But they're kind of setting up like a shadowy organization that was throughout history and doing all the war and all of that. Kind of what Hydra was in the MCU. They're doing that with a seemingly new organization in the comics. And I love that, because I loved Winter Soldier. I loved the whole reveal of the secret organization. I think that's a really great antagonist for Captain America. So I'm really enjoying this book. Seriously, this one is going to be different than the other books. If you're not picking this up, you are missing out. Really, go pick up the first 3 issues. It's not too late. It's only 3 issues in. But I really think this is going to be a really good run. This is the first time that I've really enjoyed a Captain America book since Steve Rogers' Captain America, when they did the whole Hydra Cap thing. I know some people didn't like that. I really loved that series. I thought it was really good. Obviously, they tried something different. They, did something unique with it, and also I just think it was really well written. It was written by Nick Spencer, a writer who I really like. So definitely go and check this out. I would give this a 7 or 8 out of 10. Thoroughly enjoying it. And go pick up Captain America: Symbol of Truth, because that is also a very good series. But yeah, moving along. Next, sorry, I'm trying to fix my hair. I don't know what's going on with it. Next up, I picked up. Now, you guys are not gonna believe this. All right, I picked up a DC comic book. I know. Calm down, everybody. Calm down. I picked up Detective Comics, issue 1062. Now, the reason I picked this up, obviously I started picking up Batman again the last couple episodes ago with the new run. And I don't know why, but I've just been in a kind of a Batman mood lately. I reread 3 Jokers. I watched the Killing Joke animated movie again. I keep meaning to watch The Batman because I never watched that movie. I know. I'm a terrible Batman fan, but then again, I'm not the biggest Batman fan. But I've been really feeling Batman again, and especially with the new Batman run that I've actually been really enjoying so far. So I decided I wanted to look into some more DC books, specifically Detective Comics I was looking at Action Comics, because I used to enjoy that run around, like, Rebirth time, and I was looking at Wonder Woman. I'm probably going to pick up Wonder Woman with the next issue. There was an issue that came out today, but it was the end of a storyline, so I would have had no clue what was going on, so I figured I'd start with the new storyline next issue. And then I saw this issue on the shelf, and this was the beginning of a storyline, so I decided to pick it up for a couple of reasons. One, it's Batman, and I like Batman. Two, it's written by Ram V, the writer of the Carnage series that I'm really enjoying. And three, this cover is sick. I love what they're doing with the Detective Comics art style. They have the DC logo over there, the Batman logo there, this cool outline. They have the issue number written out down here. That's the only complaint, is I wish the issue number would be a little bit bigger because it's kind of hidden down there. But I guess they are doing that on purpose because with an issue number like 1062, you don't want to intimidate people. But I really love that it has the legacy numbering because that is just so cool to me. That's why I loved when they did it back during Rebirth. They did Detective Comics with the legacy numbering. They did Superman with the legacy numbering. And I think that's totally fine for DC to have basically two series. I'm trying to word my thoughts here appropriately. With Marvel, I think they have a really good balance of having the series number and the legacy number, right? So you have the new Amazing Spider-Man run, you have issue number 7, but you also have Legacy 901, right? DC hasn't done that, but I think the way they've kind of done it is they have, for example, Batman and Detective Comics. Detective Comics is the one with the legacy numbering. It's at over 1,000. Batman is the new run. It's at like 100 something. I think they probably should have rebooted the numbering with the new creative run, but they're not doing that. Or just like you have Superman and Action Comics, right? Action Comics is over 1,000. Superman is about Superman's son kind of taking up the mantle, and that's the new run. I think that's a good way for DC to do it. So yeah, I was definitely on board with picking this up. And reading it, it was pretty good. I can't say it's really blown my mind. I wasn't like hooked immediately. But as part ones of a story go, I'm intrigued. There's obviously setting up some villains. Now, I don't know if these villains were set up previously in the Detective Comics series, because this is my first issue. But this was part one of the new storyline. So I have to think that it was a good jumping on point for me. And I was able to follow what was going on, obviously. It wasn't like it wasn't too deep, you know. But definitely gonna keep picking it up for a few issues. I'll probably pick it up for a storyline, and then I'll decide from there whether I want to keep getting it or not. I'm obviously not going to spend money on it if it's not worth picking up. So we'll see how I feel about it, but definitely going to keep picking it up for a few issues. I'm kind of mind blown that they're already on issue 1062. I feel like it was just yesterday Detective Comics 1000 came out, which I do have. So yeah, that's the new DC series that I'm picking up, and I will be adding Wonder Woman soon, hopefully, maybe. I'm also thinking about Action Comics, but I don't know if there's a good jumping on point for that or not. But continuing the DC books, we have Batman 126. I said I was picking up the new Batman run. This is the second issue in the new run, written by Chip Zdarsky, who's an amazing writer, so it's super awesome that he's doing this. And I thoroughly enjoyed this issue as well. Not quite as much as part one. Last issue I thought was really good, whereas this issue, kind of brought things back a little bit, but introduced this new antagonist, Failsafe, who kind of looks like the mech Batman that Jim Gordon piloted during New 52. Kind of looks like that, but it's obviously a machine. It's called Failsafe, and I have a feeling that Bruce Wayne built it. It seems like Bruce knows more about it than he's letting on, and I think that's going to be kind of a reveal later in the series. And my theory right now is that I think Bruce built it at some point, and it went haywire, or someone took control of it, something like that. They fought Failsafe. We got to see Nightwing, and the issue ended with an interesting cliffhanger. Now, spoiler alert. All right, so if you haven't read this issue yet, click away for a second. I wanted to ask my DC fans out there, all right? I'm not new. I don't pay as much attention to DC Comics, right? I only just started picking Batman up again. At the end of this issue, Bruce Wayne went to a chest, and he said, "There's a ticking deep in my head like a clock, tick-tock, I've done this to myself." And then the narration text changes to blue, And it says, come in, come in. Only one man could have done this to me. A failsafe for a failsafe. He needs answers, so he falls aside, and I take over. It's okay, boy. It's me. It's the Batman. And he's in this different costume. And obviously something is off, right? I just wanted to ask my DC fans out there, are we supposed to know what happened? Or are you all just as in the dark as I am? Like, am I missing something that, like, in the past of this series, they established something that, like, this is a reference to? Like, is this a reference to the Batman Who Laughs or something like that? Or is this just completely new and you all are also wondering what the heck is going on? Because I have no clue what is going on. Obviously, I'm assuming next issue I'll get some answers. But definitely intrigued. When I saw him walk around in that costume, I was like, what the heck just happened? And I have no clue what happened. So I'm looking forward to the next issue to find out what happened. But I wanted to ask my DC fans out there if you know what the heck is going on. So let me know in the comments down below. I read every single comment. Please let me know, first of all, what are your thoughts on this new Batman run? Are you enjoying it? And two, do you know what the heck is going on at the end of that issue? Because I don't. So I would love to hear your feedback down there. But last book that I am picked up recently, this one came out today, is Amazing Spider-Man number 7. Legacy number 901. Now, we have a lot to talk about with this book. This is the first issue after the big, 900 special, I guess. And obviously it's teasing Norman Osborn on the cover. So I'm just going to walk through the story and give my thoughts on it. So, begins with a scene with Vulture and his granddaughter talking. She basically says, hey, you killed people, I don't like you anymore. And he gets upset because Spider-Man told her. And so he gets mad and is like, all right, I'm going to go kill Spider-Man, which is, not the most sane way to handle that situation, but I guess he is a criminal, so, maybe he's not sane. But then it cuts to Peter Parker going to meet Norman Osborn at Oscorp. And Norman's basically offering him a job, showing him... Sorry, I got distracted by... I'm looking at the stream preview. Anyway, offering him a job, offering him... showing him what Oscorp is doing. It shows that they're doing altruistic uses for his engineering proficiencies. Trying to do good things in the world. I was a little confused because at one point there was this intern who I'm fairly certain said her name was Kamala Khan, which is obviously Ms. Marvel. But it didn't really look like... Kamala Khan as we've seen her in the comics, so I'm kind of confused. Like, is that Miss Marvel? Is she an intern at Oscorp right now? I don't know. I'm not reading Miss Marvel, and I don't know what's going on there, but maybe that's something. I don't know. But then Peter runs into Mary Jane. This is, of course, orchestrated by Norman. He thought it would be a nice thing to do, but Peter does not take it that way. But it's just as awkward as you would expect. Peter's apologizing. Mary is about to say something, and then this dude walks up, Paul. Hate this guy. And there's a flashback of him punching Peter. Now, we never saw that happen, so I'm guessing that happened between Beyond and the New Run. That's one of the happened during the time period of stuff where we're like, what happened? And Mary says, we should get back to the kids. And he says, yep, we gotta go. Now, and then Mary is kind of looking back at Peter, side-eyeing him. I don't know if I should keep my hopes up, but one of my recent theories was that maybe these are, like, not her kids, but they're Paul's kids, and she's dating him, and so she's, like, a stepmom kind of thing. But, if you didn't see it recently, I can't pull it up. I don't remember where I saw it, but Marvel Editorial was talking about Peter Parker, and they basically confirmed what we've all suspected they've said, which is we need to keep Peter Parker relatable, so we have no plans to get him married to Mary Jane anytime soon. And specifically, they were saying that we're going to dive more into Mary Jane's story in the X-Men. And I'm just getting flashbacks to Dan Slott's run, when Mary Jane became an Iron Man character. And, like, why are we sending Mary Jane off to the X-Men? Like, she's a Spider-Man character, and they should be together. And I don't understand why they have this notion that, like, oh, we have to keep him relatable. We can't let him get married. I'm like, oh, yeah, marriage is the least relatable thing. It's not like most people do it. I'm not going to say everyone does it. Obviously, not everyone gets married. Not everyone wants to. But most people get married. It's a pretty relatable thing to do. And also, they're completely ignoring the number one, in my opinion, best thing about ongoing series, which is growth. Character growth over time. That's the exciting part, is you can go back to the beginning, see Peter Parker as a teenager and having girl problems and this, that, the other, but then over time he gets married and settles down and you get to see that character growth. We need to see that. So, in case it hasn't been clear enough, I've petitioned on everything. I've been all over Twitter, I've been all over TikTok, I've mentioned it in numerous videos and episodes about Around the Boxes. I want Peter and MJ to get back together, but more importantly, I just want Marvel editorial to wake up and realize how out of touch they are. I mean, I feel like the majority of Spider-Man comic readers want to see them back together, and I'm just so confused by it. I don't understand how the same editorial team just did Spencer's run, where they were basically trying to undo One More Day, trying to get MJ back together, trying to fix a lot of these things. Like, how did they greenlight that and then now are greenlighting completely rolling all of that back? It's so disappointing. I think Spider-Man comics are in the worst state they've been in a long time, and it could be worse. Don't get me wrong, it could be worse. Remember when Peter Parker was Tony Stark and he was a CEO of, it could be worse. But it's just not, it's bad. It's bad. Especially, I don't know. And honestly, I'm going to say it, I blame a lot of comic readers because we didn't know what we had when we had Nick Spencer's run. I appreciated it. I liked it, and I was very vocal about that. But I feel like on some level, they were kind of returning Peter Parker back with MJ and doing all of that with Nick Spencer's run, and then so many people were complaining about that they were like, oh, that's a bad idea. We need to break them up again. So I blame them a little bit, but I don't know. I mean, maybe this is just it's not unfixable. They just have to hear us loud and clear. I think there's enough people on the internet. I mean, on Twitter, I see it every day. People being like, get them back together. Like, what are you doing? And I think we really just have to be as vocal as possible. So if you are like me, you're a Spider-Man comic fan, you really want to see them get back together, tweet at Marvel. Or just tweet about it in general. Post on Instagram, post on TikTok, post on YouTube, email spideyoffice@marvel.com. Now, I want to be very clear, when I'm encouraging you to do this is be respectful. Don't go emailing Marvel, cursing them out, or saying anything like that. Send a respectful, constructive criticism saying, hey, I want Peter and MJ to get back together. Because if they realize that enough of the fans want that, I don't think they would feel as averse to it. I think they're worried that they'll do that and then sales will go down, which is not the case at all. So hopefully that'll change. But continuing the walkthrough of the book, Peter then goes and flips out on Norman, which I get. He has a history with Norman. But again, Peter Parker is just an asshole in this run. Like, seriously, when I'm reading this run, it's like, why is Peter such an asshole? He's just such a jerk to everyone around him. And that is not Peter Parker. That just doesn't feel right. I feel like I'm reading Superior Spider-Man again. Like, are we going to learn that someone swaps bodies with him, like, halfway through this run? Like, something is off, and I don't like it. But that's happening. And then they reveal a special Spider-Man suit, which we've known this is coming. It's an Oscorp Spider-Man suit. He's going to have a glider. Don't even get me started. We'll talk about it when we get there, but it's not good. And then Vulture just kind of jumps him out of nowhere. Once again, I mentioned it. You're reading the comic this way. Now you have to read the panels this way. It's a little gimmicky, but it makes sense for the art. It's cool. You have the one panel of him flying up. And then Vulture goes just mask off. He flies him up, slashes his web shooters, and then just drops him. So they're definitely trying to pull a whole... Excuse me. They're definitely trying to fake us out and be like, Spider-Man's gonna die. Obviously, he's not gonna die. I think that much is pretty obvious. We're gonna get to the next issue, and he's gonna somehow save himself. Or I think maybe Vulture's granddaughter's gonna fly in and save him, or something like that. But yeah, that's oh, the glider. Yeah, the glider will probably fly in and save him. Something along those lines. But I gotta say it, man. I've been holding out my this entire time this run has been coming out. I've been holding my criticism, right? I've been trying to see the positive side. I've been saying, hey, well, at least I enjoyed the Spider-Man scenes, or oh, maybe they're just faking us out. Him and MJ are gonna get back together. They're just trolling us. But based on the fact that we're 7 issues in and this is still going on, and based off of what we're hearing from Marvel editorial and what they are saying about Spider-Man, I'm starting to feel pretty black-pilled. I'm starting to lose hope that this series is going to go in a direction that we all want it to. Like I said, all we can really do at this point is voice our criticism respectfully, make ourselves heard. I'm going to keep picking it up. There is never a reality where I'm going to drop The Amazing Spider-Man. I will pick up every single issue till the day I die. But I gotta say, I'm just so disappointed. And it's gotten to the point now where when a new issue is coming out, rather than being excited for it, which has always been the case, right? Even during Superior Spider-Man, even during other volumes of it, you know, the Dan Slott run, whatever, when there was a new issue of Spider-Man coming out, I was like, oh yes, this is a good week. There's a Spider-Man issue. That was the main book that I've always picked up. Out of every comic book that I pick up, I could drop them all except for Amazing Spider-Man. Now it's gotten to the point that when I see there's a new issue of Amazing Spider-Man, I kind of dread it. Because in my mind, I'm like, it could be good, but it also could make things a lot worse. I was dreading this book because I was worried what they were going to do with Norman Osborn. Little did I know they were going to ambush us with more Mary Jane crap. And I'm dreading the next issue because now he's going to have this glider, and it's just weird. It's just weird. It's just such a weird direction to take the book. I don't know who to blame. I don't know if this is Zeb Wells' fault. Obviously, he's the writer, but, you know, you got to recognize that the writer doesn't always have the most say in the creative direction of the book. Otherwise, I think Nick Spencer would have completely undone One More Day. So I don't know whether to blame Zeb Wells. I don't know whether to blame Nick Lowe, who's the Spider editor, who, you know, generally I would say he's done a good job, but I really think we need to get some fresh eyes in that Spider office because right now they are mishandling the property so much. But yeah, I don't know whether to blame him. I don't know whether to blame C.B. Cebulski, who's editor-in-chief at Marvel. I don't know. But the state of Amazing Spider-Man right now is abysmal. They should be ashamed, and they need to fix it. I very rarely will use words this strong. I try to be positive. I try to look at the bright side of situations, but this is just embarrassing. It's embarrassing that they think that Marvel fans want this. They think that we want Peter and MJ to be estranged. We want Peter to be an asshole to everyone. This doesn't make him relatable. It makes him unlikable, and they need to fix it. But that's going to do it for this live stream / video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, hit that like button. Comment your thoughts down below, either about the Batman issue, that question I was asking, or give me your thoughts on the Spider-Man run. Are you enjoying it? Because obviously I've seen letters in the back of the books of people saying like, wow, loving the new run, but I have to wonder if they're picking those out of a bunch of negative emails that they're getting. But let me know. If you are genuinely enjoying the run, let me know. Let me know why. I'd love to hear your thoughts on it because I'm always open to different perspectives and opinions than mine. Yeah, Webheads Comic Club coming out within the next couple of days, so stay tuned for that. Keep an eye on the sub box. It's going to be a premiere, so it'll be scheduled ahead of time, so you'll see when it's coming, but I don't know exactly when. We're recording it tonight. So that'll be up within a couple of days. So, but that's going to do it for me here. I will see you guys in the next one.